Secretary Riley, I think all of us know, was two-term governor here in South Carolina. Also served in the House and Senate here. I got a chance to speak to some of the fourth graders about a half hour ago, and they had some tough questions for him. But anyway, I'm very glad to have him here, and I would ask him if he could provide a couple comments, and then we'd like to share with you a little bit about what we've been doing.
And I want to hear that, and I see that's in the minutes, which have been approved.
That's right.
It's a real honor for me to be here. Of course, I'm here. Cassie Barber is here from those from Columbia that head up the School Improvement Council connected with the University of South Carolina, located there. And we're so proud of your school. And I was in this fourth grade class, and the principal told me that he hadn't picked out star students for me to meet with, but I thought they were all stars. But it was a very impressive group, and we had an interesting discussion. The subject that they were on was the federal government, and they knew all about the federal government, and I enjoyed talking to them about that, and state, and whatever. But we've looked all around at several classes, and I'm so pleased with what's going on here. If there's anything, I am a co-chair of the National Commission on Teaching in America's Future. And the other co-chair is Ted Sanders, who was in the Bush administration. And the main, the pollen out there, the picture and the pollen. But the main subject that the National Commission on Teaching is into right now is collaboration. And this idea of a teacher putting a teacher in a classroom and closing the door and saying, go to it. That's passé. And the emphasis now on having quality teachers is to have the collaboration with the teachers and certainly parents, but community, people, community involvement, students seeing what's happening in their community, being involved with it somewhat. The principal is the head, but principal working with all of these different parts of the school, and really they're sharing in the administration and the management of the school, as you all well know. And you have to have a special principal to handle that. Principals of time gone by would not like that. They wouldn't like the sharing of the responsibility and the management leadership or whatever. But good principals and good teachers understand collaboration. And they understand teachers working with each other and students and parents. So the National Commission on Teaching, that's the main priority this year, is collaboration. So we're doing a lot on that, a lot of special work being done, and panels and programs and whatever on that subject. And I'm so interested in what an educated person is. It goes through K through 12 in today's world. And I'll tell you, and you've heard a lot about it and read a lot about it, I know, but a graduate of high school is certainly not prepared for college and for careers if all they know is the content. The content, you have to be into that. You have to be in the academic part of learning. But if that's all you can do nowadays, there's no useful place for you out there. Communications is one of the top things that you have to have. Technology, you have to have that. Working with people, talking about collaboration. If you haven't learned and seen, been exposed to people working together, you don't know how to do that, you are of very little to no value to anyone out there that needs your services. Higher level thinking, creative thinking, and think about that in your communication arts work here. Creative thinking, of course, builds on art and music, basically, and communication skills. And that's so important. If you don't have, it kills me, you see, when we're cutting back on education support, to see them cut out the arts and music is usually the first thing they cut out, or one of the first things. That's a tremendous mistake. art and music, the creative development. Of course, we saw it going on in a lot of other ways up there. I mean, these kids spelling out things with their bodies and the discipline of all that. And I mean, it was very impressive, and I love to see that. And then the fact that you all have taken it on yourself to make sure you have kids who need special help. And that's one of the reasons that you got the Dick and Tunky Riley Award, is your special work with children who have certain disabilities. That's all of our responsibility, and they're all of our children. And we need to understand that, and if we don't understand it, we miss the whole concept of public education and a free democracy. So you all have taken that on as a real challenge, and working with a community group that really is into that, and y'all have a close connection and working relationship with them. That is so much the right thing to do. I'm involved also with Knowledge Works, is a foundation out of Cincinnati, and we have acquired a model called New Tech High Schools. It started in Napa Valley in California. There are a number in California and Texas, and some couple in North Carolina. Indiana has picked up. The governor of Indiana is supporting. This is a high schools, and while this is an elementary school, you need to be thinking about where these kids are going and how they come through. New Tech High Schools are built on project learning, and some of you teachers know, I'm sure, are familiar with that, where they have 3 or 4 or 5 students working together. They all have laptops. I guess they'll have iPads or something in the future. They got laptops now. And they have various projects dealing with standards, and they work together, teams, technology, communications, and they present their findings to the other students in the class and the school. They write it up, communications. They go out and meet people in the community and find out. When I was at the school in California, these students were, do you remember did they call it bird's nest in China when they had the Olympics? You know, it was an odd deal that the Chinese built. They were trying to reproduce the bird's nest. Another group, and it was involved in a mathematical study. Another group over here was building a golf course, and it was geometry, all the different angles and why and whatever. And I mean, these kids are into that like nothing you've ever seen. These are all teenage and high school kids. They've had 0 dropouts. This is a downtown school. It's about a third African American, a third Hispanic, and a third Caucasian. They work together across the board. When they finish high school, they have a minimum of 12 college credits. All generally, I'd say 80 or 90% of it working in these projects. And it's the most interesting thing. It looks crazy to me. I walked into the classroom and I said, you know, nobody is telling everybody what to do. Nobody's at the head of the class, and these kids sitting in rows. They're all walking around and they're all writing and working on the computer. We're now trying to start 4 or 5 of those or more in South Carolina. And Furman is involved in helping us, the state, Furman's working with the state, and Knowledge Works, my group in Cincinnati. And we think we got a shot at getting some federal dollars and Gates money. You don't want all schools like that, but to have one in every community, you know, for these kids who just simply aren't going to sit in class and, you know, for an hour and listen, and others who are into technology and whatever. So anyhow, I think you all are preparing young people for that kind of experience. And if you didn't, they really aren't prepared. So I thank you all for what you're doing, and congratulations on winning the award. I know Tunky will be very proud. She was very much into the arts, as you well know. And so that's, we were so proud of Greenville and also this school. Y'all just made me feel very proud. I was so glad my son and my granddaughter were there to make the presentation. I was not able to be there. So thank you all very much. John, thank you.